to a show.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Off the Mats podcast. And it's me, it's Dante. Thanks for coming back, y'all. So, this week on episode 105, I am welcoming two guests from the West Coast out over there, training at 10th Planet in Portland, Oregon. And I met them, like most guests, through Instagram. So, I'm welcoming today Jordan and Nikki from 10th Planet, Portland. Welcome, guys. How are you?
Great.
Good, doing good.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
No, thank you for doing this. You guys, I feel like I get more post shares from you guys than anyone, and it's not even close. It's every time I look up, like I'll see you've been tagged, and I get the little message. It was like, oh, okay, because I used to have my tags set where I had to approve them.
Yeah.
I was getting tagged. I don't know who. Someone was tagging me. I was like, that's not cool. I don't like this. But I turned it off because then one day I went to look at who was tagging me, and I had like 50 tags that it was like, oh, dude, these are cool. Like, let me turn that setting off. So you guys have amazing content, and like I'm like trying to keep up. It's like, oh my God, like whoa. But it's amazing. So thank you for sharing that. I love it all. So with both of you training, well, first off, when did you start? Like, what got you into jiu-jitsu?
You want to go first?
Yeah, I started training on and off in middle school. I would play like tap out in my backyard with my buddies. We didn't really know what we were doing. We'd watch videos on YouTube and just try to emulate them. And I didn't really start officially training consistently until I was like 20 years old. And I finally went to a gym and put on a gi and started going to classes. It's dishonest to say that I've only been doing it for 6 years now. Yeah.
When you started off training in the gi, like, because you're at 10th Planet now, and that's no gi primarily. Like, did you feel like, again, playing tap out in the backyard and then you go jump to the gi, did you feel kind of weird in the gi, or did it feel like, okay, this is just one of those natural progression steps that I have to go through?
It felt more official because when I was rolling around in the backyard, we'd just be in whatever we were wearing, t-shirt and jeans. Felt a little scrappy. I felt kind of cool to actually put on a kimono, tie a belt, make it official.
How about yourself?
Well, I started about, I want to say close to 4 years ago. Before I started, I was always, working out in the gym, CrossFit stuff, in really good shape. And then, unfortunately, I'm one of the unlucky few that found herself in a really bad situation. And I realized I didn't know how to protect myself. I was strong, I was fast, I knew I thought I could take care of myself. The situation came, it didn't happen. I moved back home and I was like, you know what? I really need to get into self-defense. Found 10th Planet Portland. Never left since. Been there the entire time.
Fair.
Yeah.
And so you've been with 10th Planet from since day one.
Yeah.
And Jordan, where did you initially start? Did you, because I guess, again, 10th Planet's no gi. So, yeah, where did you initially step in?
So I started at a Checkmat affiliate just across the Oregon-Washington border in Vancouver. So it's like a suburb of Portland that's just happens to be in Washington. But they primarily train in the gi over there. I didn't even know no gi was a thing until I met this little lady.
And when did you guys meet? I guess, when did you transition to 10th Planet?
So at 10th Planet Portland, they have a pretty awesome open mat on Fridays that's open to the public. Anybody can come through. You just sign a waiver and you get to the mats and start rolling. And once I found out about that, I started frequently joining them on Fridays, and I just started noticing this cute little lady here.
He's exaggerating.
Yeah.
But that was about, what, 3 years ago?
Yeah, 3 maybe.
And then I think he officially made the switch about, I think, almost a year ago.
Maybe 2.
Maybe 2 years ago. I might be off.
The pandemic's kind of thrown off my
Pandemic's messed up my
timeline.
timeline.
Yeah, we don't know what year is what, and I still think it's 2021 at times.
Yeah.
It feels like it, honestly.
Yeah, pandemic did a real number on everyone. Some of us, when it started, I was like, oh, word, I got to stay in the house.
Yeah.
Cool, I'm okay with that. But then when it turned into, well, you can't go to jiu-jitsu, it was like, whoa,
Whoa,
Wait a
hold up now.
That's where we draw a line.
Yeah.
like I have to leave the house for that though. Can I
Yeah.
do that? It's like, no, COVID. Like, yeah, but I mean, we're okay because we're not worried about COVID. We're worried about staff.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
Ringworm
ringworm staff.
all that other crap.
the things that matter.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I should edit that, but I'm not. I know someone's gonna get this like, COVID does matter. I'm like, dude.
We started looking for our friends, thankfully, held like garage sessions. So we felt like we were doing like the underground.
Yeah, it was like jiu-jitsu prohibition.
Yeah.
We had a bunch of speakeasies around town.
I had a few people around here. They're like, hey man, you want to come through? You know, I got mats in my basement. You know, we got mats in the garage, and I had a key to the gym. So I was like, nah, man. Like I text my one teammate, was like, hey, so because you know, at this point, you know, I was primarily gi. My one teammate, he was coming off of Muay Thai and MMA. He was like, I only want to train no gi. So he and I would go into the gym. We drill both in gi and no gi, and then we'd end up doing 2 like just live rolls with each other.
Yeah.
Both in we do 2 rounds in the gi and 2 rounds no gi, and because no gi just had fallen out of favor with me, we would do gi first, so I could like just whip up on him, and I'd also get tired. So that by the time we get to no gi, that was my excuse. Like, dude, I'm exhausted. I have nothing, man. But you know, over time, he really picked up in the gi, and now me trying to keep up with him is just like, dude, come on, relax. It's not a competition.
We're just having a good time here.
Yeah, like we're just friends. We're friends. It's practice. We talk about practice.
We're training.
So, are you guys like with training at 10th Planet? Are you guys active competitors, or are you more in just kind of the hobbyist role of it, and you know, actively learning? Not saying like hobbyist, like, well, I just show up, you know, just as a, you know, kind of fellowship type deal. No, you're still learning. So are you more so learning, you know, to compete, or just kind of learning to really absorb that knowledge and just, you know, have it as a good exercise and workout and just a fun hobby?
Definitely both.
Yeah.
We are trying to soak up as much knowledge as we can, but I'm also trying to go out and compete as often as I can.
Okay.
Put it to the test.
He's a little bit bigger of a competitor than I am. I love the like educational knowledge aspect of it. Right now I'm a little bit on timeout on competitions because I've messed up my shoulder a while ago and it's been giving me problems. But he's definitely more in the competition scene than I am, for sure. I like to pretend I'm like his teacher, but I'm not at all.
Oh, she's great. She's been in my corner at every match I've had since we've been together. Probably knows my game better than most of my coaches.
Well, that's definitely a positive there. It's like pro wrestling. She's your valet.
100%.
You come down, you're walking down with the entrance music. She holds the rope open for you.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
oh.
And it's only the only reason why I know his game so well is because we'll be like sitting down at home watching a movie and all of a sudden he's like grabbing my foot.
Oh,
Trying to, like,
you always have a training partner.
I can never get a break from it. So I know what he's working on.
That's how I treat my daughter now. Every so
Yeah.
often, we're just sitting there, and I'll just grab onto her foot. She's like, "What are you doing?" Or I'll tell her to stand up and get in a fight stance, and then she just starts like punching me. I'm like, "Okay, relax. I don't put you down."
We're just having a good time. We're just training.
So, for you, Jordan, with competing and you know trying to do it as much as possible, how was your feelings competing in the gi for the first time versus competing and no gi?
So both experiences were at the same competition.
Oh, okay.
The Henzo Gracie affiliate we have in Portland here used to throw a, they called it a Sunday Portland Open. It was just a local tournament for everybody to come through and get some experience in. And I think it was on the same day. Got a couple matches in the gi and then took it off and got some more in no gi. And I've always felt like they're the same. I've never had a crazy, intricate gi-specific style that I couldn't use in no gi. The only thing that I've found is you can kind of get away with a lot more in no gi. Most rule sets, I think, let no gi competitors do more a little bit, and I started noticing that early on, and I think I kind of like to lean that way.
And when it comes to gi versus no gi, what would be, some of those specific, I guess, advantages you would see in no gi versus the gi?
Well, I think it depends how you train, but at least in the training room, there are some forbidden fruits in the gi, some unspoken rules like heel hooks. You try to heel hook somebody in the gi, somebody's gonna be mad at you. Like nobody outright says it, but we all know you're not supposed to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did that to my one buddy who I was opening up the gym and training with. Once he really got proficient in the gi, and I got back into classes in the gi as well, he and I are kind of rolling around. He grabs my foot for a straight ankle lock, and I looked at his foot and grabbed it. He looks at me and he goes, "We're heel hooking now?" I was like, "No, I'm just threatening. Have me, I have you. Who's gonna back out first?" And we're kind of staring at each other, and he wasn't letting go. And I was like, "Okay, you know what? Fine." I was really just messing with you. I wasn't gonna do it. Like, I was hoping that he would get kind of nervous. It's like, man, I better let go. He was like, "No."
Yeah.
I know you're not gonna do it.
Because he trains no-gi, huh?
Well, now he's primarily gi now, but at the time, at the time we were doing that, he was transitioning to gi, and was like really soaking it up, and just we talk about it quite a bit when it comes to just different techniques, and the unwritten rule about no heel hooks in the gi. We're aware, but we still talk about it so much. It's like,
right.
How can we transition to this from here? It's like, well, why are we even talking about it? It's not an option.
Yeah.
But in the streets it is. But
In the streets it is.
So with you guys doing the technique videos on Instagram, like how did that come about for you?
During the beginning of these lockdowns, we were kind of stuck at home, real bored.
Yeah.
We had a good set of mats in our garage, and we just kind of started experimenting with filming content that we could send to our gym's Facebook groups. Everybody's stuck at home, still want to do jiu-jitsu, but not everybody, has access to instructionals. So we would film ourselves doing things and share it with our training partners.
And had your coaches ever give you any issues about it, or said like, "Hey man, don't be showing our secrets to anyone," stuff like that? Or were they very open to just do you?
For the most part, our coaches have always been pretty open to it, unless I start using the wrong names. If I in 10th Planet, we have a lot of intricate, fun names that we have for certain moves, and I'm not an original 10th Planet purple belt here. I came over, so I'm still learning a lot of the terminology, and if I misname something, I get called out. But it's all love. It's all fun.
Yeah, Phil has honestly been super supportive of everything. I'm the one that gets super nervous on camera. So every time I do some of the techniques, I always send them to Phil. I'm like, hey, Phil, can you look at this before we put it out? He'll be like, yeah, this is great. Actually, no, fix this. Remind us to make sure we give credits to people that we learn certain techniques from. He's always been really supportive of our growth, like business-wise and jiu-jitsu-wise. So he's a really good person to like lean on and learn from. And he's been super supportive of all of it. So it's been really fun with him.
Yeah, he's phenomenal.
He's great.
Good. It's always a very divided thing I hear sometimes, where some coaches are very just, resistant to have techniques shown. Like it's the old Karate Kid days back in the 80s. This is our dojo and that's a secret, versus, the Bruce Lee style of, let's just teach
Here
it
it
to
is.
everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is here for all of you.
Mm-hmm.
So when you come up with the techniques, or when you're sharing the techniques, I should say, like, how do you choose? Do you choose them based off of a specific, kind of flow or theme, or is it just something you start tinkering with? You're like, hey, maybe this is something. Let's roll with it more, and then let's just, show it while we're drilling it.
So I think when we started out, it was mainly just the things that
We want to learn.
that we wanted to learn, or we
Yeah.
were currently workshopping. And then we started kind of putting our own spin on what was being taught in class. And now we get requests from people, and we'll try our best to
Accommodate all those.
accommodate all the requests. But really, it's just kind of what we feel like filming
Yeah.
at the time.
A lot of the times it's like something that we'd be learning in class, where we're like, ooh, this is fun, or like this would look great on camera. So let's put that one out there and see how it goes. And then we'll put our own spin on it, or like try and figure out where we can go next. That's where you'll see a lot of the bigger flows. Like, where can we go next from here? And then we film that one too. But it's mostly, what we feel like learning, or what we want to learn, what we feel like learning, what we want to learn, what we want to dive more into, or like how to fix certain things. Like we had I'm going to call it a quote unquote series, where we were experimenting with like, how can we make submissions better? How can you make them faster? And that's probably what really got our stuff started, is that little thing, just because we were wanting to play with it.
So when you guys are doing your technique videos, how long does it generally take you? Like, do you, like, how many takes on average? Or you just like, you jump in there and you're like, we got this, we're pros. Do it in one take, or is it an over and over process?
It's usually over and over.
It's a horrible over and over process.
So it's usually just me and her and a tripod. And some movements are great. We stay in one spot, we can get it in 1 or 2 takes. But most of the time, if we're doing more intricate movements, where maybe we're going from hip to hip, it doesn't look good if we all try to keep it in one frame. So we have to keep moving
The
camera
tripod
over and over.
over and over again. And I
Yeah.
have to be in sucky submissions over and over again.
Oh, yeah. I don't even give her time to warm up.
It's horrible.
It's so bad.
With your techniques that you've done thus far, what has been your favorite one?
Ooh.
One I think that I've organically come to understand is the buggy choke.
Jesus.
But it's got me in some trouble recently. I don't know if you watched any of the West Coast trials,
Yes.
but
Yeah, he's like, yes. Yes, I have.
my buggy choke didn't do me well.
It's okay.
It's,
It's all that counts.
that's right.
Yeah.
As long as he's good, we're good.
So to be fair, in that match, I did get picked up and slammed on my head, and I got knocked the fuck out. But it was in overtime. I was down by 5 points. I was inside control. It was right there. I made a Hail Mary choice.
I was
Yeah.
just about to
I
say,
knew he
Hail
was going to
Mary.
pick me up and slam me, though, and I felt, hey, if I don't get knocked out, I'm going to choke him out with this.
He's like, it'll make it tighter. Then he
It
got
will
hit.
make it tighter.
Then his head got hit, and planned to work out.
We were talking about this in a class, not this week, I think last week, because they mentioned one of our guys. He was there, and we were talking about slams
Mhm.
specifically. And like most times slams don't work unless you just hit it just right.
Yeah.
And otherwise, yeah, if they slam you, chances are it's going to okay. You just set yourself up. You just got put into a tighter triangle.
Yep.
In most of those cases, unless you're Rampage Jackson and you hit it just right.
Yeah.
Well, again, going for the Hail Mary though, you're down 5, you're in overtime. So I mean, you made the right move. It's just,
Yeah.
I
thought so.
Not the right move at the same time.
It gave my wife here quite the scare.
Yeah, that was not fun. Oh, I was gonna say, it's so funny. He and I have such different opinions on the buggy choke too. Like, I'm not. It's a legitimate technique. I'm not the biggest fan of it. So every time he throws it up, I'm always like, ugh, again.
The thing is
Again.
it's not for all people. You have to have long limbs.
Mm-hmm.
If you got stubby little legs, it's never gonna happen for you, and you're gonna think it's fake news all day.
So
Me.
Yeah.
I am the one with the stubby little legs and stubby arms.
Me too.
So when I first saw the buggy choke, I was like, "That's cool."
Yeah.
And then upon further research, I was like, "Man, that move is dumb."
People either love it or hate it.
It's like, who does that? Not this guy.
This guy does that.
I mean, as long as the slam doesn't discourage you, make you think like, oh man, I shouldn't do that. I mean, keep doing you, because otherwise, not in all rule sets that's not an option to slam. So, you always kind of, I don't know, I always worry about that if someone, because there's some tournaments out here on the East Coast, leg locks are allowed in just every belt, just gi, no gi, doesn't matter, leg locks or full go. And if you get caught with a heel hook, in a competition where that's, the rule,
Mm-hmm.
then it's a concern that you go into the next one. It's like, you shouldn't have to worry about the leg locks, but it's in the back of your head now the whole time. Like, oh no, like, is this going to happen again?
Yeah.
So, but I'm glad you're okay.
Me too.
So,
Everything came back good.
And when you're posting the videos, because like I said, I think like a video from both of you, maybe twice a day, definitely every day.
Yep.
So, and again, keep sending them.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I was gonna say hints. No.
We can stop.
We can take it.
No, keep sending them. So the way that I repost on BJJ Wiki is I have folders, and just each day of the week, I have a meme folder specific. I go in there, and then I have a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then weekend folder. Yep. And I just go to the very bottom and then pull like the furthest one back. But those folders are so full now that it's like, okay, I'm just going to pull like whatever I can catch. I just do like kind of the roulette scroll, and whatever it lands on, it does. But I don't know if I know I was talking to Nikki about it kind of a little bit. I was like, I think I'm gonna make you guys my Thursday posts, just so that way I know that there's a dedicated day, and I don't want to feel like I'm missing your post, because it's like, okay, I have this, I have that. All right, I want to make sure though that I'm reposting them, because you have a lot of really awesome techniques I know when you share them, a lot of eyes pop up on them, and we probably have all those similar followers, to be honest. But what I try to do is, if like, I'll go back much further to get an earlier video of you guys and then post it, just kind of like, hey, remember this?
Yeah.
Put it back in your arsenal. So again, when you guys are posting those videos and send them over, thank you. Keep doing it. I enjoy them. Like, how many videos like per day do you get recorded?
So when we started, we'd try to film a technique every day, but it was rough. It was stressful. It's not sustainable. We got a little smarter, and we started batching techniques. So we'll film everything all on a Sunday, maybe 1 or 2 weeks worth, so we don't have to stress throughout the week, and then just post them as we go.
Yep.
That's smart. So yeah, it's get it all dumped down in one day, and just just have it set in the queue.
Exactly.
100%.
I'd say it was mainly because of me. Like, I couldn't be doing it every day. I was like, I'm tired. I'm hungry. I want to go home. Like, you got me tired and grumpy. Like, I'm not filming a technique today.
It's like, so hey, it's time to wake up. It's time to record. It's time to what? Record. Yeah, remember doing the
No.
buggy choke.
I'm definitely like, nope. No.
Buggy choke your mama, you ain't buggy choking me.
Yeah.
Buggy choke.
So next thing you know, you see Nikki out there lifting, like just
Yeah.
getting like super jacked, and it's like, yeah, buggy choke me now.
Yeah.
Like, I got something for you.
That's right. I got something hidden for you, buddy.
We call that the buggy bomb.
Yes.
I like it.
Right?
I'm gonna try to trick a teammate into doing it now.
Buggy bomb.
Just like, here, go ahead, put me in the buggy choke.
Do it.
Yeah, remember all that stuff you was talking about me the other day?
Slam.
Providing I don't get choked unconscious though, because there is that risk. It's like,
Yeah.
It's like walking into it, like, yeah, I'm gonna slam them. Like, why are my arms tingly? Uh-oh.
I think you'll be all right.
I
I found that most people, if they can, they figure out how to lock it up, but finishing the choke is
Takes time.
pretty hard. It's a lot of subtle movements you got to do to adjust it.
I don't think a lot of people have the patience for the subtle movements either.
Yeah.
No.
It's from what I've seen, at least, it's like when people are going for like just a simple triangle and they're not getting it right away and they're freaking out. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, just relax. You've got them. They're not going
Mhm.
anywhere. So
They say, no,
Yeah.
triangles don't work. I give up.
Yeah.
I have, I'm the one with the short, stubby legs, and I have a hard time getting to the triangle. Once the triangle's on, it's on. I was one of those who was like, man, triangles don't work. That's dumb. I'm not doing these. And also, I'm very stubborn when it comes to triangles.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like when people are trying to triangle me, it's like, have fun, because I got a short, stocky neck, so I'm not getting choked.
That's like Joe.
Oh, yeah.
And,
We have a buddy that's like
hey, I mean, I like him already.
that. He's a cool dude.
But yeah, I think a lot of people don't have the patience for those little small movements that can really sink in something like a buggy choke. So besides jiu-jitsu, what other hobbies are you guys into?
That's a real hard question right there. Yeah, it's kind of consumed our life.
Yeah.
We do a lot of jiu-jitsu. We do a lot of jiu-jitsu with all of our jiu-jitsu friends. We do luckily work out for jiu-jitsu, if that counts.
Everything's for jiu-jitsu. Wahana.
It matters.
We can't go out of town without bringing a rash guard and shorts.
For our honeymoon, we went to Miami and we still trained. Like, we couldn't even take a vacation for the honeymoon.
I think we're hopelessly addicted.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that. I was gonna say the only thing I can think of, I started doing a lot of filming and taking pictures of jiu-jitsu, of course, but it's becoming kind of like a passion of mine, like figuring out how to find the right angles, find the good pictures. So it's given me, jiu-jitsu is giving me another side hobby to dive into. I'm still fairly new at it, but getting the hang of it, and I'm really, really enjoying it. So hopefully taking a camera video filming class here soon and figuring that out.
Okay.
Yeah.
And see, that's something. I mean, it's still
Something.
jiu-jitsu
We have something.
connected,
We're
but
interesting.
that's a hobby.
We're interesting people. I don't just do jiu-jitsu.
I think jiu-jitsu people are some of the most interesting people.
Yeah.
And not just because I do it and I'm biased in that way, but it's because I always want to know. It's because I do it and I know myself, I'm not tightly wound.
Yeah.
So when I go and do jiu-jitsu, it's I'm getting, arm barred and choked and knee barred, and I'm laughing and giggling and smiling. And I know my coaches hate it. It's like, why are you laughing? I got hip tossed the other day and I'm laughing as a dude lands on me. And they thought I was dead.
Oh,
And I'm
no.
over there giggling. So I'm always wondering, I always find jiu-jitsu people interesting because I'm like, well, what's the the key for you with jiu-jitsu? Like, what makes you love it? You know, that may be different than anyone else's love for it.
Yeah.
So, I think, and like you said, you're into photography now through jiu-jitsu. So jiu-jitsu is what did they say? Point Break. It was like surfing is the source. Jiu-jitsu is the source.
Yeah.
So there you
100%.
go.
Yeah, jujitsu, it has a lot of benefits that are obvious. You're exercising, you're learning a martial art, but I think things that people overlook are you're constantly getting a chance to improve upon yourself and find self-mastery within a community of people. It's not like going to like a 24-hour fitness and doing some bodybuilding where you put your headphones in and you're in isolation. No, you're with like a tribe.
Yeah.
You all bond with each other. It's like suffer bonding, you know? And if you can get through it with a smile on your face, having a good time with your buddies, like it's hard to beat.
Yeah.
I think that's why so many people are so obsessed with it.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I'm actually always more concerned with people who come and they try it. They not even just try it, like, people might do a trial like for a week or something and they leave. Nah, okay. You didn't really give it a chance, I don't think. But
Yeah.
the people who do it for like 3 months, 6 months, and then they disappear, it's like,
How?
like, was it like, how'd that not work for you? I mean,
Yeah.
But everybody's different in what they're into, what they like. When I used to coach the kids, we had a team come in first day, and yeah, show them. I'm trying to show them guard.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, okay, so this is guard. Come here. And he's like, mm-mm. I was like,
No way.
no, just here, just sit here. Like, okay, and I try to wrap my legs around. I was like, no, I don't want to do that. He was like, okay, I got a feeling jiu-jitsu is not going to be for this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not about
It's not for everybody. I think anybody can do it, but it's not for everybody.
I agree. I say that all the time to family members.
Yeah.
Like, I always, say I think everyone should try it at least once.
Yes.
So, so that way that it's not for you. Because had I not tried it, I wouldn't have known that I would have enjoyed it the way that I do. I would have been still playing football, getting clobbered, walking around with concussions like every single day. Like, nah, this is okay. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's not.
It's not fine.
It's a hard sport for tough guys to get into because you're somebody's punching bag for the first 6 months.
Yep.
Unless you come in with some sort of grappling background, you're gonna suck. You're gonna fail every day, and if you can't handle failure very well, you're not gonna make it.
If you come in, jiu-jitsu's an ego check.
Yes.
100%.
You come in there, like you said, you're getting your ass kicked for 6 months at least, and there are different types of people that can handle that, because it's not even, you get to a point where you're not really thinking about it as getting your ass kicked as much as you're thinking you're learning.
Yeah.
What did I do last week that's different this week, and how did that improve? Versus you get some guys, they just think, man, I go in here every day and I get beat up.
Yeah.
This isn't working for me. So it is definitely not for, the average everyday meathead, or my cousins, it was like, well, what if I got a gun? It's like, do you have a gun now? No, I'm about to fuck you up.
Yeah.
You get fucked up right now.
Like, that's why, like, what if you had a gun? Don't even introduce the ideal. If you don't have one, shut up. But those are the guys also too who aren't going to dare step on the mat. No, even though my cousins don't have guns, because they don't have guns.
Yeah.
But they're the same people also who aren't going to step on the mat, because in their mind it's like, we from the street. I'm from the street too.
Yeah.
And I had to go get worked out a few times before I realized, okay, maybe just putting my head down and charging at them isn't the answer.
Right.
So
I see both sides of the argument where the guys are like, what if I had a gun? What if I had a knife? I'm like, yeah, but what if you don't? Then what? But on the other hand, I'm also of the school of thought that doesn't think jujitsu is real self-defense. Like, we train on matted or padded floors, and we have all these rules. Like, you're not allowed to hit me. I don't train with punches all the time, so I'm not going to expect to be great at dealing with them when they come my way. I think MMA is probably a little more realistic, but it still has its limitations.
Absolutely. Well, I think jiu-jitsu, yeah, like you said, I don't think it's self-defense, like completely. I think it's control.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
It's a good baseline.
It's a great baseline.
Yeah. Like if you I don't know if you remember a few years back, Matt Serra
Mm-hmm.
at a restaurant, some guy got out of control and Matt Serra just got mount and was just had him in mount.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
in a lot of situations, that's all it really takes is just for jiu-jitsu, just avoid getting hit and being able to control a person. Because most average people in a bar, especially in a bar, because they might be a little intoxicated, perhaps, don't have good balance. Even if they're sober, probably don't have good balance. Don't have good body control.
Mm-hmm.
Not, they don't have good body awareness. So, jiu-jitsu isn't necessarily the thing that's gonna win you the fight,
right,
per se, but it can, for some people, if you can get the back and just kind of hold them in position just to get them to calm down. Because I've been in that situation where I was lucky enough to get the guys back and just
and without like bludgeoning someone.
Yes. And my only concern once I got his back, I was hoping he would calm down, because if he didn't, I was in a very bad position because I was basically on the ground.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If he turned, he's in my guard, but guard in a street fight.
Yeah.
And I was very new, so I didn't know, okay, I could throw up an armbar or a triangle. All I knew was like, I can hold this guy in place and like calm him down, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And when he realized, okay, I can't move, he chilled out. But had he understood how to like kind of get turned, I was, I just kept thinking like, please hold on for dear life. Don't let this guy turn around.
Yeah.
If he starts hitting me, like I can fight, in that sense of like, oh, I'm a street fighter. Like, I'm not going to get my ass beat, but I was in a bad position. So chances are if he turned around, I was going night.
Yeah.
So at some point, but yeah, I agree. Like, jiu-jitsu, I don't think is self-defense in the traditional sense. I do think it is, though, better than having nothing, number one.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But also it is a control point where at the very least you can kind of bring order to a situation potentially.
Yes.
Versus Steven Seagal with whatever the fuck he does. Aikido?
Whatever hand trick he has. It's very much body awareness and spatial awareness, which in everyday life is so key to like just knowing your surroundings, seeing what's around you, being able to know like what you want to do next in a certain situation. Like it, for me, like my favorite part about jiu-jitsu is the life applications. 10th Planet Portland has done an amazing job at connecting like everyday training to like how you can implement that in your life. Like solving one thing at a time, getting your spatial distance, or like being able to follow game plan. It's all these beautiful lessons that I think at the surface when people look at jiu-jitsu, they're like, it's just like a guys just on each other, rolling sweaty dudes, like whatever they see.
Yeah.
Some crazy buggy choke. But underneath, it's just like this beautiful, life lesson that people should be able to experience at least once in their life.
Yeah, and there's tons of jiu-jitsu that, like, if strikes were involved, I'd throw out the window. But to me, it's more about problem solving.
Yeah.
You're presented with an issue, can you resolve it? Whether that's a buggy choke or a heel hook. It doesn't really matter what it is. You kind of have the safety and freedom to explore these problems without dire consequences.
Yeah.
Hey,
Sometimes.
a friend of mine, her uncle just posted a video, saying would heel hooks work in the street,
Hmm.
and it's showing um, different situations, different shoe types, and the heel hook work in every
Mhm.
single aspect except for when you're wearing a high heel.
Oh.
So if you want to avoid a heel hook, just walk around in high heels,
High heels.
and you'll be
Perfect.
good.
Yeah, that's good.
Um,
to know.
I don't even know how to do that anymore. To be completely, I wear flip flops all day now.
Hey, walking in high heels is impressive.
It's so hard.
That's a skill in itself. It's like,
Yeah.
It's so hard. I don't even know. Like one time, I think I put heels on for the first time in like 3 years, and I was like that baby deer. I was like, what is going on here? I don't even know how to do this anymore.
I have a 5-year-old, well, 6-year-old daughter, and I think about it, I was like, one day you're gonna be that kid that's, you got to do whatever, go to prom. I don't know
Yeah.
where people wear heels to, but
I'm gonna
it's
be a good
like,
one.
and I'm just sitting there thinking like, she isn't very well balanced. So hopefully by then she'll be okay. Maybe, I
Yeah.
don't know, but
She's got good. If she's only 6, she's got a good amount of time to learn.
yeah, I mean, yeah, walking in high heels should be its own martial art. It's
Yeah.
like, damn, like the technique of the day.
Yeah.
Heels.
You probably teach a class. on it.
8-inch heels. Not even just heels.
Yeah, it's like, oh my god, why are you so tall? Oh, it's just my heels. They have pockets. but yeah, it's like for me, I don't know that I even wear shoes most times. Like I wear flip flops around the house. I wear house shoes around the house and like no shoes. And then when I'm out anywhere, I wear flip flops. It's just even to work. I have my work shoes in the car, and I drive to work in my flip flops, and then change into my work. I have work shoes at the office, and then when they send me to another location, I have work shoes in the car.
Mhm.
It's like if there's any opportunity, like I go to the movies, flip flops. If I go
Flip-flops.
to Comic Con, flip flops.
Yeah.
It's like, do you own any shoes?
No.
Flip flops.
No, I don't.
I'm the same way. I get annoyed anytime I have to put socks on. And I think that only started happening when I got into jiu-jitsu
Yeah.
because you spend so much time barefoot and it's normalized,
Mhm.
you know? Everybody just wears flip-flops on the side of the mat. You got a sea full of slides.
Yep. I remember when I first went in. I'm very foot conscious, like
Mhm.
conscious. Like
Me too.
I'm always aware of my feet. I'm like, ugh, my feet are gross.
Me too. Yep.
So I went and got a pedicure.
Mhm.
Like, and I was like, oh my goodness, this feels good. I walked out, like, it's like, I'm doing this every week. Oh my God. Like, this is amazing. And for the longest time, I always prided myself as having the nicest feet in the gym.
Right.
Mhm.
So I was like, look, y'all ain't gonna catch me slipping. And then
That's really
one of
cute.
our brown belts, he'd come in. He's a lawyer. He comes in right from work, takes off his gets dressed, has his socks off and everything. Just the ashiest feet I've ever seen. And I'm like, and he didn't care. He's like, yeah, I'm here to do jujitsu.
Yeah.
Like if you're worried about my feet, then you've already lost. It's like, yeah, you're right. I'm still gonna worry about my feet though.
Yeah. I was like, my
Hey,
feet
don't
are
you
still
guys
gonna
have-
look cute.
Don't you have any respect for the leg lockers here? Come on.
So I do. People do make comments at me because before I go to class, if it's like I don't work on Wednesday, so I get dressed, I get ready in the morning, shower, that I lotion up my feet,
Mhm.
and then when we go in, you start to sweat, and now it's slippery, and they're like, "Dude, are you greasing?"
You cheating?
No, I don't want to have ashy feet. I'm like, oh, okay. It's weird that you feel that way. It's like, nah, it's just feet are weird to me. Okay.
Yeah,
So
they're so gross, honestly. Like, that's
it's
why I'm not a leg locker. I'm just
yeah. So I'll grab a foot, but it's not like by choice. It's like just out of instinct, like grab that foot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do something to it. But I'm not choosing to grab people's feet just like for funsies. It's not. I don't walk around the street looking at people's feet like, oh, they'd be great at jujitsu. Like,
They got a big heel. I can hook that heel.
yeah, it's like, oh, definitely heel hooking that person. Like, I look at feet and I'm like, ugh. Like, why do you have those? You're just like little hands. I don't know. Yeah. See, now that I've really reevaluated my life now, because it's like I hate feet so much and I do jujitsu. And when I get a foot in my face, I'm just,
Oh.
Oh, break that shit.
oh God. Like I just crushed the Gatorade bottle just now. I'm angry. Oh, wow. All right, let me get away from feet because feet,
Yeah, let's change the topic. You're squishing your
Uh-oh.
Gatorade bottle.
let's say a family member or a
Mhm.
friend says, hey, I'm interested in jujitsu. They come and try it out, but they're still not really like sold on it. What's something that you would say to them to kind of get them, like, to kind of sway them a little bit?
I would try to remind them how fun it is.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't have to be as scary. Not everybody in class is some big brutish MMA fighter with something to prove. Most people are just here to have a good time, learn a little something, get some good exercise in.
And
That's,
you, Nikki?
Oh, I was like, is it my turn? I was like, is he still going? No, I'm just joking. I feel like I would go along the same lines. Sometimes it's, I mean, girl thinking, right? I'm like, well, why? Why didn't you like it? Tell me why. And then depending on that would probably be my answer. But I'd probably remind them that, the sport's not supposed to be easy. It is a difficult sport to get into, and it's a difficult thing to want to continue. Because like we talked about earlier, your ego gets in the way and it gets really hard. But to take it like one day at a time. So like maybe today wasn't great, but that's super normal for everybody in the sport. Like let's go again tomorrow and see how tomorrow feels. Like, I know I cry like every other day. It's like this is hard.
Right. And
Normal.
and for both of you, well, I guess more so for Jordan with this one.
Yeah.
Like with competing, you've done tournaments. Have you done like any like super fights or anything?
Yeah, I've done a handful of super fights. I've done some gi, some no gi, some caged jujitsu. They're all pretty fun. I honestly think they're a little cooler because it's all eyes on you for a few minutes, and it feels bigger than it really is. Because you can kind of get lost in the crowd in a tournament. People are paying attention to different matches here and there, but you get a moment to shine in a super fight.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
That's always my hope at a tournament. Is like, yes, please look at the other competitors.
Yeah, right? I was like, no eyes on me, preferred.
Like, don't look at me. Even at my coaches, stop looking at me. I'm trying to coach you.
I'm trying. Do it with, don't look. Eyes closed.
And
Instinct.
then as soon as you mess up the technique, it's like I shouldn't have looked.
Yeah.
I wish I hadn't have looked. And for your super fights, like, do you have any specific walkout music that you?
No,
really
honestly,
cherish?
the super fights I've done, they never give me an opportunity to pick something. They just take control of that.
Boo!
I know.
Like, if you got to choose your walkout song, what's something that comes right to mind right away?
Ooh. Okay, so Godsmack. Anything Godsmack. Just something
good one.
something mean.
Nice.
That is a good one.
Like, I'm already getting angry right now. Like,
Yeah, you're like,
Yeah, something that's like some fight music, And then I go out there and pull guard. Butt scoot the whole 10 minutes.
it was,
we're working on that.
we actually had an entire class last week on just pulling guard,
Really?
which I put up so many posts talking smack about pulling guard. Meanwhile, I'm in class like, oh, this is a good way to pull guard. So hey, pulling guard isn't all that bad. It's hey, you got to get the fight to the ground. So
Yeah. I think it's all about why do you pull guard? Is it because you're not as good on your feet, or is it?
Do you have a game plan?
Is it a tactical decision?
Yeah.
Is it something you should be ashamed of, or you should be proud of?
So I have a post that what's Women Who Roll BJJ, Katie Egan.
Oh, yeah.
She put up a post talking about, I can't remember it word for word, but it's like basically people who talk trash about guard pullers, maybe you should just learn how to pass the guard.
Yeah.
And I am hesitant to post it because I just don't feel like getting. I like because I see some of the comments she gets, and I'm like, ugh. And you're a likable person, so
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She's a real nice person.
People are
Yeah.
ruthless online.
Yeah. Oh, it's crazy.
because people online are punks though. People who like go and like someone commented something about one of my posts the other day, which I was kind of proud of,
Mhm.
like because I don't make memes very often. So when I do, it's like, oh my god, like people like it. And then someone came on and wrote something shitty, and I was like, but here you are looking at my post. So
Yeah.
because you have to follow me to make comments. You're
Right.
not allowed to comment without being a follower. So it's like, you took the time to follow me to make
And
that
comment.
comment.
Yeah.
And now you just added to my follower total. So thanks, dummy.
Yeah.
What's this guy?
Yeah. The smart thing is to kind of lean into the trolls, get them commenting back. For reals, every time they open up the comment section to reply, you get another view. So
Yeah,
they're just helping.
that's true.
You know?
Yeah, there are times where people get into arguments on and it's funny because I look at the arguments like I don't really agree with either of these guys.
No. Yeah.
But I'm gonna let them go
Yeah.
because the engagement is going up on my post now. So you guys keep arguing, and then when it dies down, I'll like go on and start liking things just to try to rile them back up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Poke
You
'em.
remember this? You remember this?
Yeah, I'll go in there. It's like, yeah, dude, you have a really good point. And then the other guy comes back. I'm like, yes. 40 more comments.
Right? This whole other side of social media is just poking trolls.
It's a backhand hustle.
Yeah, that's like the real secret to it is like the trolls are like,
Kind
yeah,
of.
we got them. We got
Yeah,
your attention.
you
It's
get the
like,
trolls.
Yeah. You got to troll the trolls.
yeah, it's like I'm controlling you, dummy. Like what did you think this was?
I call it the troll patrol.
Nice. It's like now I'm like, oh my god, and like I'm sitting there thinking like, ugh, I'm gonna write that down somewhere, and I know that I'm gonna use it too much.
Yeah. He's
People
got a
like,
lot of them. Just message him. He's got a ton of these things.
So when like kind of discussed with Nikki when I actually mentioned having you guys on, she had mentioned you guys kind of thinking about doing a podcast of your own potentially. So where's that in the works? Is it still kind of a thought, or are you considering moving forward with it, finding time for it?
It's more of a thought. It's a nice idea.
Yeah. We like really want to get into it. It's now finding the time for it.
Yeah. Yeah, and right now we have a lot of friends that are starting their own podcasts, and maybe we'll try to be on the other end of them for a bit, kind of see how that goes before we dive in it on our own.
I mean, it never hurts to, everyone else is doing it. Go hop on and be a guest and get your voice out there.
Yeah.
And then just start because I know with this, because I was on Nerd Rage Radio a lot, it's like at the very least, I mean, like BJJ Wiki's following. It's like sometimes I question it because it's like, who's following me?
Yeah.
Like that doesn't seem right. So then when I do the podcast, people are like, oh, you should instantly have like a lot of downloads. I was like, I don't even know that most of my followers are real. Like, because those spam bots that like trying to sell you geese and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's like a bunch of those. I'm certain of it. The Russian bots like, hey, big boy, you're lonely tonight. Stuff like that. It's like, what? Like, why are you guys following me? Oh, because you think I'm a sucker. Like, get out of here.
Yeah.
But it's like once you come in, you have somewhat of a following. You do your own podcast. It's almost kind of an immediate like, oh, we want to hear what they have to say.
Yeah.
So I know I'd be interested.
I think you can offer a lot more with long form content, like a podcast.
Yeah.
And I feel like people really get to absorb a lot more of it. They get to kind of know you, or at least feel like they know you more.
Yep.
Than if all they see is memes.
Yeah.
You get a good laugh out of it, but you feel like you don't really know the person on the other end.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's some people right now that I've been kind of communicating with, and it's like, oh, I would have never known that at all because you know all I see are memes.
Yeah.
So it's like, and I guess with you guys doing the technique videos, at the very least, I see people attached to it. Like memes, it's like, who's the person behind the meme? Like even for myself, I repost a lot, and it's very rare that I am. I think there might be 2 or 3 posts on my main feed with me
Yeah.
in it, and then the stories I once in a while, I'll post me. So I'm very weird about just I'm not secretive about who I am.
Yeah.
Like I don't care. My job can find me. Like if they want to be like, oh my goodness, that guy was talking about the whole Johnny Depp thing. He took a side. Like
Yeah.
you got to get rid of him. Like oh well. I mean,
Uh-huh.
it sucks.
Yeah.
Sucks that you guys care that much about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard that you
Right.
got to fire me. I doubt they would do
Wild,
that.
by the way.
Which would be wild.
Yeah.
It would be wild.
If my job called me into HR and was like, okay, so we saw what you said about Amber Heard.
Mhm.
We can't have that. It's like, what? I'm not making it up. She shit in the bed.
Yeah.
Like no, that could have been a dog.
On
It's
tape
alleged.
It was
like-
fecal transportation. Fecal delivery. What do you say?
Yeah, fecal delivery. Oh yes. I can't wait to start using that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm already on it.
I like my daughter goes to the bathroom. Is like, are you doing a fecal delivery? What? I think I'm just gonna start going to porta potties at concerts. It's just banging on the door. No fecal deliveries. Like, God, dude.
God,
Like,
you're gonna think that's what it's only called now.
That's what it's called.
It's not going. It's no longer going number 2.
It's pretty creative.
yeah, true. My daughter is quick to pick up something and run with it. And it's like she doesn't say bad words yet
Mhm.
because I don't think she knows the context.
Ah.
Like she'll hear me
Waiting.
say bad. Yeah, she's just like, I don't even know what he's saying. I don't know how to use that word.
So she's waiting till she figures it out, then it's just going.
Like, yeah, in her mind, she's
My
probably
girl,
like,
though.
she's like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, meanwhile, I was like, well, it's on its way.
It's on its way. She's smart. At least she's waiting to figure out the context for it instead of just throwing it out. Smart girl.
True.
Smart
True.
girl.
It's just now I'm worried because once she figures it out, it's like, oh no, we can't stop her.
Right.
It's like, yes, you can. You're her parent. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mhm.
I don't know if you understand how this household works.
Mm-hmm.
Like this basement is mine with all the action figures, but the rest of the house is hers with all the doll houses.
Right.
So it's terrifying.
The little kids run the show.
Yeah.
As much as we don't want to admit it.
That's a fact.
Facts.
So either way, I'm glad she's not down here now, so I can't have her hearing that because it's just like, yes, this is my house.
Yeah.
She should come over and knock over my ring light.
Next podcast is hers. She's the one running the podcast.
She does. Well, she was just sitting here a few minutes ago
Uh-huh.
with the other microphone in front of her. It's not plugged in. She sits in front of the microphone, like kind of making hand motions at me and pretending that she's part of the show. We're gonna do an episode soon. She and I.
Yeah.
Her birthday is next week, so maybe next week she and I'll sit down and do a daddy daughter episode.
That'd be
That'd be
so
cool.
fun.
Yeah.
So,
They have the funniest things, like the most interesting ideas every now and then too come out of kids.
Yeah.
You're just like, what are you thinking in there? Yeah, I don't. How did you even think of that?
there's sometimes like she'll just say something. She woke me up this morning, and dude, I had the most bonkers dream, Dad. I was like, first off, where did you get bonkers? Like what? Like what do you be watching on Disney?
Yeah.
Like get out of
Something
here.
bonkers. Something.
Like she just like she'll just do and say the weirdest things, and it's like, but we're all kids and we all did it too. So I just think the kids today are weirder.
I agree. Fully.
Like, I'm sure my mom was like, my son is really weird. It was like, girl, you made me.
Sure.
That's on you,
It's
Mom.
on you, Mom.
I learned about watching you, okay, Mom? All right. So we'll go ahead and wrap up there. I had another couple questions. I was like, I didn't steer so far away from it. It's like, I'm not just gonna just circle back to like
Circle back to him.
People are like, oh my god, this guy doesn't know what the hell he's doing. It's like, you're right, but you're listening. So
Here
yeah,
we go.
I know what I'm doing. So Jordan, Nikki, thank you again for doing this. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day and being my guest. I would love to have you on again, especially just kind of towards this end part. We like loosen up into the senior cracking jokes. Like I like to just have y'all on. Like I don't even want to talk jujitsu. Like let's just talk anything else.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, we do other things. We'll just have to figure out the other things.
We'll get back to you on those.
Yeah, we'll come back to the hobbies question.
It'll come back. You guys will have like a list. So on
Look,
this
all these.
hobby, we really enjoy surfing, beekeeping, and stamp collecting.
Stickers. Thank you. No,
Like, do you guys really like those things? Are you reading off a teleprompter?
we just have this list in front of us. How much do you know about bees? They buzz and like
how much you know about bees?
Black
Like,
and yellow.
like I'm scared of them. That's how much I know.
Yeah, exactly.
They sting me a lot. Do you guys have any shout outs or mentions that you would like to throw out there for us?
I mean, follow us at just Jordan Jiu-Jitsu and Nicotix. Shout out to our coach Phil Schwartz.
Yeah. If you guys don't know Phil Schwartz, you should definitely check him out. He's so amazing. Like just the way that he teaches classes, seminars, anything that you can catch Phil Schwartz, you should definitely go see. Asgard 503, our sponsor. They're an amazing jiu-jitsu gear company. It's quality gear, very comfy. He's coming out with some new stuff soon. So definitely keep your eye out on that. We should be getting pictures up soon of it, I would think. Soon.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But yeah. Thank you for having us, man.
Yeah.
This is always a lot of fun. You're a cool guy. We'd definitely love to come back here again.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, thank you. I had a good time. There's some guests, like I'm looking at the time, it's like, oh wow, we went longer than what I was planning to, especially for a first episode, because most times we're like, just get them out of here in 45.
Let's go.
Like
Yeah.
you're scared,
It up.
like you don't have anything to say to them really. You just have questions and you don't know how to follow up with the questions. So just get them out of 45.
Yeah.
So no, like I had a great time, and just like I said, I'd like to keep this super casual and laugh. Laughter is always, the fun point of this. So I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, Rebecca.
So I'll make sure to, also put your Instagrams in the show notes and your sponsors as well. So that way I like to, get eyes there and be like, hey, go follow them if you aren't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please.
Be awesome.
Pretty please.
So for everyone else listening, as always, thank you so much for paying attention to me, because I'm shy, but I'm kind of an attention whore. So thank you for listening to the podcast. If you have any questions, concerns, criticisms, please reach out to me. bjj.wiki on Instagram, Off the Mats Podcast on Instagram. I'm very open to anything people have to say, unless you're saying mean stuff. Then I'm just gonna block you. Like direct mean stuff, like I don't know what's mean. Like
Feet are ugly.
you got short arms, little T-Rex. Don't say that. Like I'm very sensitive about my short arms. Like I can't rear naked choke people properly, and that shit actually is embarrassing. Big shout out to my good friends Eric and Allie over at the Armbar Attic. A couple kids out of Denver, Colorado, hawking t-shirts and rash guards and I think stickers and hats. Maybe they got a lot of good stuff on the website. Go check them out. Also go check out their Instagram and their TikTok and give them a follow. Also, I'd like to shout out again the Razzle Dazzle podcast. My good friends also in Colorado, Shut Up Nut and her partner Nevik. They have a podcast about the TV show Lost that I'm a big fan of the show and their podcast. So if you're into that kind of stuff, go check it out. And last shout out is for one of my other podcasts, So You Like Horror. It is a horror podcast done by myself and several different friends. This upcoming episode is going to be about the Paranormal Activity franchise, with myself and my wife talking about it and just talk about how spooky our own house is. So if you're into that kind of stuff, go check it out. But otherwise, thank you all the same. You guys keep listening. I will keep making these shows. Thank you, everyone. Love you. Bye.
Deeper with it. Now let me sing a song.